talk about the PediMate, installation of the PediMate to the Stryker stretcher, and where it's located on the Sunstar ambulance.
So you can find the PediMate in the pediatric cabinet on the Sunstar ambulances. When you get it out, it'll look just like this, like a little red burrito. It's all strapped together like so. When you open it up, there's all kinds of buckles, right? So there's also instructions on here. However, we've all learned how to put this on in not quite the right way. We use a Stryker stretcher. This is a Furno PediMate. Stryker provides a pamphlet on how to install one of these onto their stretchers. So let's go over the right way how to do it. First things first, take the top strap, right? You want to put it around the back of the head of the stretcher. Make sure you got all your stretcher straps out of the way first. It has to go under the piston, so that way you can have control of your stretcher head after you put it on. Get it nice and tight. Next part. So this is the part that's different. We've all been taught to attach this to the yellow part of the stretcher, right? It's not how we do it. With these, there's the side bar, right? The black bar is where you attach your strap. So loop it around just as you would around the yellow part. Loop it around, click it in. Let me get mine here. Okay, so now you can already see that we're going to have a kid that's good and upright, right? Your butt piece, the crisscross, where you're going to make sure the kid's butt goes, is right in the crease of the stretcher. We always say put your end in the bend, right? That's what we're going to do with this guy. So the PediMate is designed for kids that are 10 to 40 pounds, non-trauma patients, right?
And remember, that's 10 to 40 pounds, not kilograms.
So once we've got the kid in here, we're going to get the arm in, and we've got the crotch buckle. I'm going to get everything good and loosened and untangled here. So, first buckle here.
Second buckle.
Okay. So then the chest strap, we're going to get this looped in here. It doesn't matter if this goes over, under, as long as it's in. So one thing to remember, if you can pinch any slack here, it's not tight enough. So we're going to pull all the slack out, pull it tight, make sure this is in place. Pull the slack out from down here. Oh, too much. Tighten this down. So we're going to tighten that down because, of course, we want to make sure that this is in the right place here. It should be right about pelvic level. So we're pulling all our slack out here. And then we're going to pull all the slack out here as well. And make sure that our kiddos are secured to the stretcher and the PediMate.
Now, if you have voids in this, you'd be able to pad the voids in the side. But adhering it to it this way, you can see our patient fits almost perfectly. Now, with it up like this, the Stryker way, if your child becomes unresponsive, needs airway issues, you can lay the stretcher down and still actually work and treat your patient. But the only thing you'll notice, their feet might need padded some way with a blanket, a pillow, sheets, or something just to pad under their legs and under their knees.
So again, the only change with this really is just where we're positioning the straps. It otherwise goes on the same. You position the kid inside it the same as well. And one more time, you don't position it around, or secure it rather, around the yellow part. You secure it around the black bar that's behind the stretcher.
Final thoughts, remember, pounds, 10 to 40, not kilos, and this is for the medical patient, not the trauma patient. We're going to talk about now installation for the car seat usage for your infant patient, 5 to 10 pounds. When we get it to the side compartment of the Sunstar unit, come with our car seat and this pool noodle. Pool noodle, you don't need.
So the first thing you want to do before you put your kid in this car seat is see where these straps need to be. See, there's multiple slots here where the shoulder straps can go. What you need to remember for these kids, especially when they're rear facing, is that the strap needs to be at or below their shoulder height, okay? So the way to do that is really simple. Pre-place your kid in there. So you can see here, this strap is way down here by their back. You probably want to put it here because this is going to be right just a little too high. So you're going to want to put it back here. So how do we do that? Okay, hold my baby. So this hook here. You see everything's attached here, right? Unhook these. And then you're going to reach through here, pull this out, okay? And then put it right back into the next slot where you need it. And then you simply put it back on to this T-piece here. Okay, so now we're ready to install this. One thing to remember, this is the tether. We don't need this when we're on the stretcher. This is for when you're installing it and forward facing in the truck, and that's when it goes on that O-ring in the back of the bench seat, okay? So how do we install this thing? First things first, we have our lap belt for the stretcher, right? That's gonna go through this hole back here. Either you feed your partner theirs or they feed you yours, like so.
Go ahead and pull it.
Where's it?
Well, you gotta pull it because there's a lot of stuff.
There you go. Try to press it down as best you can. Okay. So next, let's lift this guy up so we can see what we're doing here. There's these holes down here, okay? Your middle strap is going to go in here. Let's get this out of the way, like so. So I'm going to pull this while Matt pushes this back into the back of the stretcher. Like so.
Also, pay attention to this metal piece here. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but pay attention to this and what we're going to use it for.
So how do you know if this is on tight enough? If you can try to slide it and you have less than an inch of room, of wiggle room, you're in. All right, where's my baby?
Baby me. Now, with our infant child, we're going to get our infant into the seat. And again, we have him or her size properly. Arms in, your chest plate. Seatbelt them in. Now, again, this is a chest plate, so we want this up here at the chest. That metal bar we talked about, it's attached to the tether. You're going to pull the tether until you get it tight enough where you can barely get your fingertips in here, so allow the baby to breathe properly. If it's too tight, if you stick your finger in here or lift this up, you have the metal bar you can push and pull the strap, which will give loosen the seat belts. So again, this is for your infant patients who are 5 to 10 pounds attached to the stretcher, rear facing.
So again, just like with the PediMate, same thing with this. How much slack we have here, if you can pinch it, you've got too much slack. So the way to fix that again is to pull this tight so that way it pulls the slack out. And again, check if you can stick a couple fingers under there and that's it, you're tight enough on the kid.
Good placement for this is going to be the armpit level. If you're at armpit level, you're good placement.
One final thought, make sure you're not trying to put the legs through the straps. The legs don't go through the straps. The only thing that goes through the straps is of course the arms. Legs go on either side of the belly buckle.